Hello friends, welcome back to Random Hearts. Tonight I want to share with you one of our favorite summertime desserts. Now we discovered this recipe about 10 years ago and it instantly became a family favorite. I was a little worried initially that I might not find some of the ingredients in my local area, but I've had no problem, and every summer we make this at least once, sometimes even twice. And so we just need to be ready and waiting for pineapple to be ready in our grocery store. And I found a beautiful one. So we are going to make grilled pineapple with Nutella tonight. We will be using the stove and the grill. So let's get started with what goes into this dish. Here is what you will need for tonight's dessert. You are going to need one large pineapple that is ripe. We will be slicing and coring this. I will show you how to do that here in a minute. We are also going to need 1/3 cup of mascarpone cheese. This is an Italian style cream cheese. It does not have the same tanginess as cream cheese. In fact, I think it has a more buttery texture, but we will need 1/3 cup of that. We are also going to need 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1/3 cup of Nutella hazelnut chocolate spread. You can use an off-brand if you would prefer. And we are going to need 3 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream. We're also going to use some toasted hazelnuts. This is approximately 1.5 tablespoons of chopped toasted hazelnuts, and that is optional. We just like the way it looks on the top, and that is what we need. So let's get started. To cut this pineapple, I'm going to begin by taking off my top. Now I do have a garbage can right next to me so I can just toss things in there. And this will make kind of a mess. I did switch cutting boards so that I've got my cutting board with the well. I'm also going to cut off the bottom. And you'll see my core right here. I want to cut just a little bit more on that top. Okay, so that is done. I am going to clean up my board here in a minute, but I want to take off this outside. I want to get as close on the outside as I can. So I'm just going to take my knife and run down it. Like I said, I will clean this up in a minute. I just want to get the majority of this off. And I probably should have cut my cleaned up my knife a little. It's not quite as sharp as I would like it. But that is what I want for right now. I will clean this up and wash off my hands, and then we will core it. Alright, so this does get a little bit slippery, so I want to be really careful here, but I still have quite a few of these pieces I want to get off of this pineapple. So I'm just going to use my knife. I'm going to kind of clean them off, being very careful. Don't want to take off too much of the fruit. This is a super ripe pineapple, and it does smell absolutely amazing. When you grill fruit, somehow it brings out all those extra sugars, and it just makes it taste amazing. So I've got that part cleaned up. Let's get this other end. Now I do occasionally double this recipe. In fact, I believe the original recipe was 2 pineapple, but we just simply can't eat 2 pineapple, just my husband and I. So if I have a large group coming, I will double the recipe. It's very easy to do. And we'll grill that up and serve it up on plates or bowls. It's just a great dessert. So let me continue to get this cleaned up. I am okay with having a few of these little seeds. I'm all right with that. I don't really care if I have those or not. So I've got it pretty much cleaned up the way I want it. And you'll see I still have the core in the center. I am going to cut these into about 1/2 inch slices. So that's about the thickness I want. Then I'm going to take my handy dandy biscuit cutter, and I'm just going to sit that right in the center where that core is, and I'm going to press down. That is about the only thing I use this for, is cutting pineapple core out. So that is my beautiful piece of pineapple that is ready to go to the grill. I used to have an apple core that probably would have been better suited for this particular pineapple, as it did have a small core. But I did get rid of that a few years ago, as we didn't use it very often. And the biscuit cutter is doing a fine job. The only thing is that there is a little bit of waste around the cores, and we can eat that around the core before we throw it away. So this worked just fine. Now I'm going to make my mascarpone cheese topping. I am going to need 1/3 cup of the mascarpone cheese. I'm going to go ahead and set my measuring cup to that 1/3 mark. Now this can measure both liquid and solid, but this is a solid, so we'll put it on this side. And it has a very smooth, like I said, almost butter-like texture. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. I do also use mascarpone cheese when I am making tiramisu. And so I do use it pretty frequently in my cooking. I love it in desserts. I'm going to go ahead and plunger that into my bowl. I want this to get up to room temperature, so I'm going to go ahead and let this sit for a few minutes so it'll be softer to work with. This has been sitting for probably about 10-15 minutes now, and it is very, very pliable. It's definitely up to room temperature. I'm going to go ahead and add that 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. And my vanilla is getting really close to the bottom, so it's getting a little granular. But I just want to mix that in really well. And then this is going to top our grilled pineapple. So our next step is to get our grill going and get that started. So we're just going to go ahead and mix that up. And I'm going to put that in the fridge so it'll stay cool.
To begin grilling the pineapple, I have to make sure the smoker's ready, and now that I see smoke, I can shut the lid, turn the temperature up to 450 degrees Fahrenheit, which is our desired temperature to grill the pineapple. Now that the grill's heated up, we put the pineapple on. It's been about 10 minutes, and we've got some good grill marks. We're going to flip all the pineapple, cook it for about another 10 minutes, and then it'll be ready to take in the house and plate up.
While my husband is grilling up that pineapple, we're going to go ahead and get the Nutella sauce ready. I have 1/3 cup of Nutella here. I'm going to go ahead and use that same plunger measuring tool and just get that into my pan. I'm going to turn this on low heat. I'm going to go ahead and add my heavy whipping cream at this point. My saucepan is not quite warm enough yet, and so adding this to the Nutella is going to actually chill down that Nutella a little, and it will get a little bit lumpy as I begin whisking it. But you'll see the texture of it does change quite a bit here very rapidly. The color changes, and I am able to work with it a little. I do not want to make this sauce too far ahead of time. It needs to be used almost immediately. So if the pineapple is not very close to being done, in fact, I would just say if it's not off the grill yet, don't start this step. This should be your last step right before you plate up the dish. Now I want this to get to a smooth enough consistency that I can pour it. So right now it's a little bit thick. You can see it, I can drizzle it a little, but it's not good yet. So I want that to heat up, and so I'm just going to stir that for about 2 minutes, and I'll show you what that looks like when it gets to the point where it's ready to stop. So you can see how shiny the sauce is now, and you can also see that I've got quite a lot of movement. I don't want to heat this too much more, maybe 1 more minute, 30 seconds. But I want to continually keep stirring this. I don't want to let it go too long because then it gets a crust on the top. So that's about it. I think that's good to go. We're just waiting on that pineapple to come inside, and then we'll plate this up, and I'll show you what the whole dessert looks like. The pineapple just came in off the grill, so we're gonna go ahead and plate this up. I'm gonna go ahead and take one of my pineapple slices. Actually, I think I'm gonna take two tonight. This will be my husband's. And we're gonna go ahead and top that with some Nutella sauce. So I'm gonna stir this up real quick because it's already settling. And I wanna just drizzle that all over that pineapple. Then we're gonna take some of our mascarpone cheese mixture. And because he's got two pieces, I'm gonna go ahead and put that on the top. We'll do two, one little scoop per. And then I'm gonna drizzle that with a little bit of those chopped and toasted hazelnuts. And that is everything. That is our grilled pineapple. Well, friends, that's gonna do it for us tonight. We made our grilled pineapple with Nutella. And even though it sounds fancy, it's really not that fancy. In fact, the hardest thing for me to find is usually the mascarpone cheese. And I love saying the word. But I live in rural Wyoming, and if I can find it in my local grocery store, you can probably find it in yours as well. I just have to kind of keep an eye out for it. And pineapple isn't always in season, so keep an eye on that too. But this is a delicious outdoor meal, and we just love it. And we hope that you will at least try it, give it a try. Grilling fruit just makes it taste so much better. And honestly, when we smoke it, it even gives it a little more of a boost of flavor. So I hope you will give this a try. We appreciate you being here. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave those in the comment section down below. Please consider subscribing. We would love to have you as part of our community, and we hope you're having a lovely day wherever you are, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.